That's okay.
Okay.
So we
All
are.
right. Intro is playing.
And welcome to Mumbali and Rich. Today's episode is another test because we're still trying to dial in all of our services here. And let me bring in Mumbali here on a two-shot. Say hi.
Hello, Rich. How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing, man?
I'm doing.
Yeah. So where am I calling you at today? Where are you at?
I'm talking to you today from Virginia.
From Virginia.
Yep.
How's it going? How's the weather there? You're probably going to get our big rains.
It's beginning to cool down a little bit here in the East Coast, but it's good. It's good. It's good to have some cool weathers. So yeah.
Cool. That's good to know. I don't know which camera is showing me. I think it's this one.
Okay. All right.
So basically, we got something here that's telling me that Facebook is live. So we're live again.
We are live. We are live. Yes.
We have a special guest with us today. We're going to introduce her in a moment. So you're in Virginia. Let me just tell you really quick. We just got like a huge storm coming through here last night, and another one, bigger one's coming through here. I mean, this is the first time I've heard thunderclouds like this. So
Really?
You're going to get yours probably in a day or two.
So you guys are getting like a rain or something?
For the first time this year, like a lot. Yeah.
Oh man,
it's raining cats and dogs.
Hey, maybe California needs the rain. I know you guys have the drought going
desperately.
On. So
there's a lake that I hike around 2 miles up in the hills here. It's empty, completely empty. It's really sad. Yeah.
Oh man. So okay. So now to proceed to the test. Right now you have just me and you on the screen.
Yes, just us. It's just a two-shot.
Okay.
So I'd like to introduce. We have a third guest here, and today we have Susan Nyanzi, and she puts together a program. It's called Patient Experience Symposium. So let's go ahead and bring Susan in on the show. Say hello to the world.
Hello.
Let me see. I'm looking at Facebook. Okay. Oh, there she is. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. What happens is that there's a 10-second delay. So on Mumbali's, you can't trust the Facebook site. You just have to stick with the meetings.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ignore the other one. So Suzanne, how are you?
I'm good, Rich. How are you?
Pretty good. We're just starting this little program here, and pretty soon we'll work out all the bugs and be 24 hours a day. There's a high demand.
Wow.
So, Suzanne, you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Yes, definitely. So I really don't know where to start. Actually, I guess how we met
Sure.
through the Women in Pain conference put on by Full Grace. And so I'm part of the board members there. And so we put this conference on every year around September time. And I'm sure everyone can hear the British accent right now. I grew up in England, but I'm originally from Uganda and East Africa. And now I studied here in the US and I work here. And so now we're putting on a big conference.
Great. And how about a little bit of your background? How did this conference come to be?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, I have several autoimmune conditions. And normally, and I'm not bagging on them, but normally providers are trying to help, but sometimes it's not truly helpful. So usually they'll say, if you have an autoimmune condition, stop working so that you can get on disability and get the medication that you need.
Right.
I was kind of one of those who was, no, I think there's other things that I can do with that. So again, I'm one of the rare ones who had an autoimmune condition when I was a child. When I had it, they even didn't know really what it was. And so they actually told my parents it was just a matter of months. But of course, 30-something years, I've outlived these providers. And it was really through the lifestyle things that I was doing. What I was eating, I was doing my exercises and stretching. So all of that helped. And so a group of us patients kept going to these conferences, and we kept saying, it's so medical. Nothing is very personalized. Nothing is very much for the patient. So because we kept talking about it, then it was, well, why don't we do what we want to go to? And so that's how I came up with the crazy idea of putting on a conference.
And that's where Patient Experience Symposium began, basically.
Yes. So it's by patients for patients. Mm-hmm. That's how we came up with it. It's for us patients who kind of beat the odds and are working full time, have families, are carrying on doing the regular stuff and wanting to empower others that they too can do it. Even though autoimmune conditions don't have a clear treatment, they are things that people can do to improve on their quality of life.
Right. And this is about empowerment,
Exactly.
And it's not just for women, it's anybody who's got a disability.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Women
Mumbali, feel
and
free
men.
to jump in. Yes.
Wow. So Susan, you said you grew up you studied in England, right?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Can you elaborate more on that, and what's your area? What's your area of medicine? What?
Oh, okay. Actually, we left Uganda because of Idi Amin. So
yes.
Yeah, he didn't take too kindly to my family, so we went to England. My dad studied in England, but my mother studied in the U.S. So she wanted me to come over to the U.S. and study. I was supposed to go into medicine, but I diverted and went into public health. And so I've got a doctor of public health, which is a practice PhD, and it's specific for public health. So I can do a combination of research and teaching and also see clients as well. And actually the doctor of public health is in lifestyle with the subspecialty in chronic disease management.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of people these days are coming out with more and more disabilities, and disabilities that a lot of doctors or insurance companies don't even want to accept. Is that part of your situation that you're finding?
Oh, yes, definitely. So I have what they call scleroderma.
Scleroderma.
Yeah, scleroderma.
You want to explain a little bit about that?
Thank you, Rich, because that sounds like some science fiction. All right.
Yeah, and it's important to kind of, for the average person who may not have ever heard of that, it's like, okay, I got a scleroderma pet somewhere.
and actually a lot of the providers haven't heard of it either.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
And we end up knowing more than they do.
Wow.
So actually scleroderma means hardening of the skin, and there are various types. So it can also harden the skin around the organs within the body. So it can attack the heart, the blood vessels, the GI tract. It kind of hardens everything. It's like turning into stone.
Wow. Is there a cure for this?
No, there isn't.
So there's a lifetime management, basically, is all that's available today.
Yeah. And actually, I was the one who kind of was figuring out that the lifestyle part played a huge impact on how I felt versus, the medication part of it. Right. And, with these medications, some of them are cancer drugs, and they have kind of pretty bad side effects.
Yeah, being a cancer survivor myself, 21 years, I know what chemotherapy and radiation can do to a body.
Yeah.
And that's really important to have to deal or to learn how to deal with that kind of pain and recovery that can actually last a whole lifetime.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you're trying to put together this patient-to-patient experience symposium. What kind of person is your client? Who are you inviting to this program?
Okay, so we're actually inviting other patients to come, but we're also broadening our horizons and looking for patients with other autoimmune conditions. So with lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, they all kind of work together or come in bunches. Autoimmune conditions like to come in bunches. And so they all usually overlap. But the damage they cause is pretty much the same. And there's lifestyle things that can help alleviate or reduce those. Then we're also bringing in providers as well. So the providers are going to listen to top researchers in the field from UCLA and UCI. So Dr. Clements is one of the top leaders in scleroderma. And so he's going to be presenting. And then we also have Dr. Kavasha, who is from UCI and also UCLA. Mm-hmm. And the other thing which we are trying to do is combine the East and the West Coast for scleroderma patients per se. On the East Coast, they have the National Scleroderma Foundation, which is more patient-based. And then on the West Coast in San Francisco, they have the Scleroderma Research Foundation. They're very much about raising funds that go straight to research. And so with this, but they have so many different studies going on and no one is really talking to each other. And so we thought this would be a great forum where they can kind of talk together and we as patients can see what's really going on. Because some of the work seems to overlap. One group seems to know about one study, but then the other group doesn't know about it. Whereas with us patients who've been, going from one group to the next, we're like, oh, well, maybe you guys should be talking to each other.
Rich.
Yes.
Dr. Susan, do you know that this is the first time I'm ever hearing about, as a matter of fact, I can't even pronounce the phrase, scleroderma,
yes,
right?
Scleroderma.
As a matter of fact, Dr. Susan, as you're talking to me right now, I'm Googling, I'm trying to Google to even find out what scleroderma is. And to me, wow, okay.
Oh, yeah. And we've done conferences at the Women in Pain for Fibromyalgia. And that's where I met Suzanne and amongst a lot of people that, really need help and need to educate the world about what's going on. And there's a lot of diseases that are out there that the doctors and the insurance companies don't want to accept. You
are very correct.
Yeah, it's about a funding thing because there has to be more research in medicine, especially in these types of diseases that affect women. Men too, but I don't know what I know fibromyalgia is predominantly women, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and what about this?
Some men also have it. But then the other thing with fibromyalgia, sometimes it's not properly diagnosed.
Right. Yeah.
So
if you hear my puppy barking over there, that's Lula. She's going to be alive. Come here. Say hello to the world. Sorry.
So some men
this is live television or live. Lula's going to be the mascot. There you go.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm sorry. We have to have a little bit of comedy in this program, right?
You got this 5 seconds of fame on TV. Anyway, Dr. Susan, go ahead, please.
Yeah.
So some men do have it. Most probably more men have it. It just hasn't been diagnosed correctly.
Right.
And there's even actually some providers who don't believe it's a true diagnosis.
Yeah. And what about scleroderma? How is that in the male population as opposed to the female?
It is predominantly in female, but it is also in males as well.
Right.
And it's kind of weird. Different types or different severities are found in different ethnic groups. Mm-hmm. So African American women and men seem to get the more aggressive type.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Compared to
I wasn't aware of that. And that's with scleroderma predominantly. The fibromyalgia, I don't know if there's been any research on with ethnicities seem to have it more. Do you know?
Yeah, that part I'd have to look up, but I haven't really looked it up. But I know a lot of providers even now don't believe it's a true condition when it really
and
is.
this is after we've live streamed how many years now? Like 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah.
With the Women in Pain Conference.
Yeah.
So your patient-to-patient experience symposium, that's coming up, what is it, on the 18th and the 20th?
Yes, November 18th to the 20th.
Through the 20th. Okay, so it's for 3 days.
Yes.
And it's going to be in Palos Verdes.
Yes, at the Terranea.
The Terranea in Palos Verdes.
Yes.
Is there a website that we can go to, anyone who's interested, to get more information?
Yes, definitely. www.patient-to-patient experience symposium. It's all one word. And then it's the 2 is the TO. So
not
patient,
the number 2, right?
Yeah, not the number 2. That will take you to a totally different site.
Okay.
We found that out by accident.
Okay.
And so, so patient-to-patient experience symposium.com.
So patient-to-patient experience symposium, 2 with the TO.com.
Yes.
To get more information on the patient-to-patient experience symposium coming up on the 18th through the 20th in Palos Verdes. And is there anything else, Mumbali, that you'd like to ask?
You know, while you all were talking, I was busy Googling scleroderma.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is the first time. Wow. I have never, ever, I couldn't even imagine. I've never ever heard about this, never seen this. And so it says, what is scleroderma? Scleroderma is a systematic sclerosis. It's a chronic connective tissue disease generally classified as one of the autoimmune rheumatic diseases.
Yes.
I can't even.
You said rheumatic, and that reminds me of arthritis.
Yes, it's under the same umbrella.
Right. And even arthritis is not completely understood because the doctors don't know exactly how to cure it yet, right?
Exactly.
And that's just something that's accepted as you age, and there should be, we can put a man on the moon, but we can't fix arthritis.
Yeah.
There's got to be more research.
And it's in the same umbrella as lupus as well.
As lupus, right.
Yeah, so we even have scleroderma patients who have lupus.
Right. Wow.
They have both.
Wow.
And even fibromyalgia.
Wow.
That's a tough one. I'm trying to figure out how the computer's going to know the difference between all three.
I mean, I've even seen some with scleroderma, fibromyalgia, Parkinson's, and MS.
Wow.
It's not a good combination.
That's not a good combination.
No.
And I can imagine that with 4 different diseases going on, it can affect a person psychologically too.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. So there's a lot of people who, kind of down, depressed.
Sure.
Don't want to do anything. But we're going to have sunrise walks.
Yeah,
and
great.
Chair yoga.
Yeah.
And actually those all work with the serotonin levels. These are all the neurotransmitters in the brain to make us feel good and happy.
Sure. You don't want to pass out tequila shots, right?
Maybe at the party on Saturday.
Okay.
But we're going to walk it off the following morning.
Yeah.
Dr. Suzanne, you sound so optimistic despite what you're going through. What keeps you going?
I guess it's hope and knowing that I am the driver of my own health and keeping up with eating right. Eating the right foods that are good for me, keeping up with my exercises. I stretch and do my exercises every day.
That's
I've
important.
been doing it for like 30-something years.
Yeah.
And making sure I have time for family and laughing, really living instead of thinking of all the negatives.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, with any disease today. You can't stop life.
Exactly.
Because whatever you have to make it work with your life.
Exactly.
And we have to stop.
Define you.
Yeah, I think people with diseases have to stop or learn to stop surviving and start thriving.
Exactly.
because you can't change your God-given whatever's going on in your life, right?
Exactly.
So you have to make the best of it. We all do.
Yeah.
You know, we're all in the same boat.
And that's the whole thing about the conference.
Mm-hmm.
It's about thriving through all of these things that we all go through.
Sure.
And coming out of it and still have a clear mind and head.
Yeah. Hey, do you have a list of any of the speakers that you'd like to mention today, or is that going to be a surprise?
I'm going to give the big one, Dr. Clements.
Okay, Dr. Clements, you want to give a little background?
Oh, Dr. Clements, he's a rheumatologist at UCLA, at the UCLA Scleroderma Center. Mm-hmm. And he's one of the top leaders in scleroderma pretty much in the world.
Wow.
So he knows it and understands it well. And he's actually my doctor as well.
Great.
So I bent his arm, but he jumped on it. He wanted to come and speak.
Great. So he'll be speaking each day, or which particular day?
He's speaking on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday, we're going to have a panel with scientists.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the current research and trends in autoimmunity and in scleroderma.
Right. And so autoimmunity is just a huge problem in today's world too. It's, people having issues that are bringing your immune system down, and that can cause all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, and food can do that.
Yeah.
So one of the foods is gluten.
Mm-hmm.
They're now seeing a lot of people having gluten allergies and sensitivities.
Sure. And they can cause anything from gluten, from stomach problems to physical to pains, all kinds of stuff, even psychological.
It actually, besides the causing the stomach problems, it causes arthritis-like symptoms.
Right.
Can cause muscles to swell, joints to swell.
Knee joints, walking issues.
Yeah. And then also foggy brain. They call it foggy brain. Yeah. And of course, I had to look it up what it really meant. And it means that the gluten is actually attacking certain parts of your brain.
Wow.
And they did a study and they showed those who had the gluten sensitivity and continued to eat gluten, certain parts of their brain decreased in size significantly.
Wow, that's crazy. I think Mumbali, you and I are going to have to stop eating so much bread.
Rich, I'm just standing here and I'm just amazed. This is wow. like wow. And Rich, you sound like you have been doing a little research too, because you kind of have an idea of what Dr. Susan is talking about.
Yeah, you know, she's spoken. Dr. Suzanne has spoken at the Women in Pain events for the last several years. So as I'm videotaping or live streaming their events, I also am learning the whole time. Every time it's something new that I'm learning. And after hearing her speak for so many years, I'm started to learn. So I kind of knew a little bit.
Yeah, you almost sound like you get it. Like as she's talking, you get it. For me, just like some wow.
Well, I'm also a thriver or survivor, as you might say, from cancer. So I actually exhibit a lot of the same symptoms of what they're talking about. When I go to the Women in Pain conference, I'm actually a man in pain because so many of the symptoms are related to cancer and cancer recovery. So that's probably why I also you totally understand what Dr. Suzanne is talking about.
Yeah, because you've gone through it, so you get it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I wanted to add a quick kicker to the conference.
Sure.
So because a lot of the patients are on limited income, had the crazy idea of let's make it affordable for this 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
So the patients are only paying $250 for 2 nights stay at the 5-star hotel.
Wow.
Meals included. Wow. And then attendance to the conference.
Wow. So it's an all-inclusive for only $250 for 2 nights and all 3 days of the conference, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great price, especially because it's inclusive with your meals and your hotel stay.
Yes.
You can't find that anywhere else, you know.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. And once again, for more information, you go to Patient to Patient Experience Symposium. The 2 is the TO, not the number 2 and not TOO. It's Patient, TO, Patient Experience Symposium.com. Is there anything you'd like to wrap up with, Suzanne?
Well, let's get patients signed up. We've got 5 more days left before registration closes. So we would like patients to sign up. Anyone with an autoimmune condition, you're more than welcome. And we also want providers to sign up as well, because they're going to be learning from the top leaders in the field, and then also public health providers as well.
And just out of curiosity, what about sponsorship? Are you looking for help with that?
Yes, we are, because
Okay.
because the patients are paying $200.
Mm-hmm.
The value of it is around $1,500.
Wow.
So yeah, we're looking for sponsors who can help cover that difference.
And where might a sponsor go to find you for that?
Oh, actually, they can go to my email. They can email me, and they can actually also go to the website, and there's an email link right there.
Okay, so they'll go to patient experience symposium.com, and there you can find Dr. Suzanne's personal email if you want more information. If you'd like to become a sponsor, I think it'd be a great idea. This is a wonderful cause, and it's really important that we educate the public about this. So thank you for coming. Thank you for having us, Suzanne.
Dr. Suzanne, I have learned something completely new today. Okay,
That is fantastic.
Mumbali, can you crank up your volume a little bit? You're a little low.
Okay, yeah, I had to cough a little bit, so I turned it down. So I've learned something completely new today, and this has definitely, this is why we should all be appreciative of our lives and our health in general. So
yeah,
definitely learned something new today. So
yeah,
thank you, Dr. Suzanne. Thank you.
No, definitely, and I'm glad I got to increase your awareness on scleroderma.
Yes, it was very important for us all and all the viewers.
Wow, hang on. Let me see right here. Before we go.
Sure.
I have my friend.
Oh, is there any questions from our live viewers for Suzanne? Would you like to take any questions, Suzanne?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's see if we got it.
I'm looking at Facebook right now just to see if we have any questions. I don't want to. Okay, so we have Chief Jonathan Kurt, who is watching us here in Chief. I think Chief is watching us from Richmond, okay? And my friend Dr. Zirian Kwende. Dr. Zirian Kwende is also from Cameroon. Dr. Suzanne, she's from Cameroon. And Dr. Zirian Kwende just joined the public health service not very long ago. And so, Dr. Zirian, if you're watching, let me do this, Rich. Let me try this. I want to see if Dr. Zirian has anything to add to this, okay?
Oh, okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this phone number and we'll throw it in. We'll throw this phone number right here. Okay, there's a phone number for those who are watching. This is phone number 405-928-8041. Rich, tell me if you can hear the dial tone.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Susan, did you hear the dial tone?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so if I would really hope that Dr. Zirian Kwende would chime in on this, but we'll see.
And if anybody who's watching online, you're welcome to write in questions directly on your Facebook, and Mumbali or I will keep tabs on that.
I've learned today. Okay, I've learned something new. And we are, I'm learning, and we are testing. Because my phone line is tied to my mixer, so I can send that back right to you guys.
All right.
So
okay. Shall we close out this session, or?
Well, I tell you what. Let's go ahead and close us today. And Dr. Susan, nice talking to you. And I believe that we are going to have to do another one of these again and have you back to educate us more. What do you think?
Oh, wow.
I
Thank
think
you.
so too.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Susan Nyanzi, from the Patient to Patient Experience Symposium. That's patient to T-O, Patient Experience Symposium.com. Conference is 18th through the 20th in Palos Verdes. Go to the website for more information. You can purchase tickets there. And if you're a provider and or a sponsor, you can get information there, and Suzanne's email is available there too. Thank you, Suzanne, for having us.
And before we go,
for
Rich,
us having you and you having us, and you've been very educational. We've learned a lot today.
definitely, definitely. And before let me just acknowledge somebody else who's watching us right now on Divine Chamukong. Divine Chamukong, he used to be a radio reporter back in the day in Cameroon, and he's very, very into community development and things like that. So thank you, Divine, for joining us.
Oh.
All right, take it away.
Okay, thank you for having me, guys. This was fun.
Great. All right, Suzanne. And that was Susan Nyanzi from Patient to Patient Experience Symposium. And
Thank you, Suzanne.
Back to you, Mumbali.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Suzanne. And it's been good talking to you all today.
All right, guys, we're going to call this close for today. Over and out for our test here. Mumbali and Rich live.
And Suzanne, thank you, and good luck on your symposium. And like I said, we look forward to talking to you some more. And thank you.
Definitely. Me too. I totally enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you soon. Whoop. Try it again.
Wow. Rich, I learned something new today.
There he goes.
I learned music.
Live television. Gotta love it.